The shovel hit the earth with a dull thud. Maya's small hands gripped the wooden handle. Her fingers were already raw, dirt caked under her nails. She dug faster. Her breath came in short gasps. The autumn air was cold in Portland. Leaves scattered across the manicured lawn. The mansion loomed behind her. Its windows glowed with warm light. She was alone in the garden. A voice cut through the stillness. Sharp, commanding. "What are you doing in my yard?" Maya froze. The shovel slipped from her hands. It clattered onto the grass. She fell to her knees. Her small fingers clawed at the dirt. "Please," she whispered. "Just let me find it. Then I will go. I promise." The man stepped closer. His shadow fell over her. He wore a navy suit. His silver hair caught the porch light. His face was hard, angry. This was Robert Ashford, owner of the house, CEO of the biggest development company in Oregon. "I asked you a question," Robert said. His voice was ice. "What are you doing here?" Maya looked up. Tears streaked her cheeks. Dirt smudged her face. Her brown eyes were wide with desperation. "My daddy sent me," she said. Her voice shook. "He said something is buried here, under the oak tree. He said you would remember." Robert's jaw tightened. Something flickered in his eyes. Recognition. Fear. Behind him, footsteps approached. A man in a dark vest hurried forward. This was Carter, Robert's estate manager. He had worked for the Ashford family for 20 years. "Sir," Carter said. His tone was sharp. "I caught her sneaking through the side gate. Shall I call the police?" Maya flinched. She pressed her hands deeper into the soil. "Please do not call anyone. I just need to find what Daddy buried. Then I will leave," Carter scoffed. "She is lying, sir. Children make up stories. Let me remove her." "Wait," Robert said. His voice was quiet, strained. He stared at the girl, at her torn jeans, her scuffed sneakers, the brown leather briefcase lying beside her in the grass. That briefcase. He knew that briefcase. "Who is your father?" Robert asked. His throat felt tight. Maya wiped her nose with the back of her hand. "James Johnson. He said you were friends. A long time ago." The name hit Robert like a fist. James Johnson. The man he had betrayed. The partner he had erased. The friend whose name he had not spoken in 15 years. Robert staggered back a step. His face went pale. Carter frowned. "Sir, do you know this man?" Robert did not answer. His eyes were locked on Maya, on the briefcase, on the desperate way she clawed at the earth. "Where is James now?" Robert's voice was barely audible. Maya's shoulders shook. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. "He is dying. The doctor said 2 weeks. Maybe less." She looked up at Robert. Her small face was filled with hope and fear. "He made me promise. He said I had to find what you both buried. He said it would prove everything. He said you would understand." Robert's chest tightened. The garden blurred. For a moment he was 20 years younger, standing in this same spot, planting an oak sapling with James, burying a metal box beneath its roots, a box filled with papers, contracts, proof. Proof of what they had built together. Proof of what Robert had stolen. "Sir," Carter said again. His voice was urgent now. "Should I call security?" Robert raised his hand. Silencing him, he looked at Maya, at her bleeding fingers, at the determination in her eyes. Then he looked at the oak tree, tall and strong. 15 years of growth. "No," Robert said. His voice was hoarse. "Do not call anyone." He removed his jacket, tossed it onto the grass. Then he knelt beside Maya in the dirt. "Show me," he said quietly. "Show me exactly where. If you believe justice is still alive, show us by hitting that subscribe button right now." This is Tales of Black Justice, where we share true stories of people who were pushed down but rose up stronger. Press like button if you stand with those who refuse to stay invisible. Robert's hands plunged into the cold earth. Maya dug beside him. Her small fingers worked frantically. Dirt flew. The hole grew deeper. Carter stood behind them, his arms crossed. His face showed clear disapproval. "Sir, this is highly irregular. You are ruining your suit." Robert ignored him. His mind raced. James Johnson, after all these years, sending his daughter to dig up the past, to dig up the truth. "How old are you?" Robert asked Maya. His voice was gentler now. 9, she said. She did not stop digging. "I will be 10 in December." "Where is your mother?" Maya's hands paused. "She died when I was born." "It has always been just me and Daddy." Robert's chest ached. 9 years old, alone with a dying father, digging in a stranger's yard because she had no other choice. "What did your father tell you?" Robert asked. "About this place. About me." Maya wiped sweat from her forehead. "He said you and he started a company together. A long time ago. He said you were best friends." She glanced at him. Her eyes were searching. "He said something happened. Something bad. But he never told me what." Robert's jaw clenched. Of course James had not told her. James was too good. Too kind. Even now. Even dying. He said I would find a box here, Maya continued. Under the tree, he said inside are papers. Papers that tell the truth. Her voice dropped to a whisper. He said you buried them together. When you were still friends? Robert stopped digging. His hands trembled. He remembered that day, summer of 2009. The company was new. The future felt limitless. He and James had stood right here, laughing, dreaming. They had filled a metal box with their partnership agreement. Stock certificates, a photograph of them shaking hands. They called it their time capsule. A promise to each other. A promise to stay true. 3 years later, Robert broke that promise. Here, Maya said suddenly. Her fingers scraped against something solid. I found something. Robert leaned forward. Together they brushed away the dirt. A metal corner emerged. Then an edge. Then the whole box. It was rusted, corroded by time and soil. But intact, Maya pulled it free. She clutched it to her chest. Her eyes shone with relief. This is it. Daddy was right. Robert stared at the box. His heart pounded. Inside was evidence. Evidence of his crime. Evidence of what he had done to James. Open it, Maya said. She held the box toward him. Daddy said you should open it. Robert's hands shook as he took the box. The metal was cold, heavy. Carter stepped closer. Sir, perhaps you should think about this. Whatever is inside, it could be problematic. Robert looked at Maya, at her hopeful face, at the dirt under her nails, at the briefcase lying beside her, that briefcase. James had carried it every day, to every meeting, to every site visit. What is in the briefcase? Robert asked. Maya's expression grew solemn. Daddy's papers. He said I must bring them too. He said you would need them. Need them for what? I do not know, Maya admitted. He just said you would understand when you saw them. Robert's mind raced. Papers. What papers could James have kept? Then it hit him. The original ledgers. The accounting books from 2012. The year Robert had forged the contracts. The year he had stolen James's share. Those ledgers would show the truth. They would prove what Robert had done. If the IRS saw them during the audit, Robert would lose everything. The company, his reputation, possibly his freedom. But if he destroyed them, James's daughter would have nothing. No proof, no justice, no inheritance. Robert looked at Maya, then at the box in his hands. Slowly, he pried open the rusted lid. Inside, wrapped in yellowed plastic, were papers. He lifted them carefully, unfolded them, a partnership agreement, dated June 2009. 2 names, James Johnson and Robert Ashford, each owning 50%. Below that, stock certificates. 50 shares to James, 50 shares to Robert, and at the bottom, a photograph. 2 young men, arms around each other, grinning at the camera. Robert's throat closed. He remembered that day, the day they incorporated, the day they became partners, the day before everything fell apart. Maya leaned close. She looked at the photograph. That is Daddy, she whispered. He looked so happy, Robert could not speak. The man in the photo was healthy, strong, full of life, not the dying man Maya described. Why did you stop being friends? Maya asked. Her voice was small, innocent. Robert set the papers down. He covered his face with his hands. For 15 years he had buried this, hidden it, lied about it. Now a 9-year-old girl was asking him to explain. It is complicated, he said finally. Daddy said you did something bad, Maya said. But he also said you were a good person once. He said maybe you still are. Robert looked at her, at the trust in her eyes, the hope James had sent her here. Not to accuse, not to threaten, but to give Robert a chance to make it right. Where is your father now? Robert asked. At home, Maya said. In our apartment. He cannot leave the bed anymore. Take me to him, Robert said. He stood. Dirt covered his suit. His hands, his shoes, Carter gasped. Sir, you cannot be serious. You have a board meeting tomorrow morning. Cancel it, Robert said. His voice was firm, final. He looked at Maya, extended his hand. Will you take me to see James? Maya's eyes widened. She looked at his hand, then at his face. Slowly, she placed her small hand in his. Yes, she whispered. Daddy will be so happy. The black sedan rolled through the city. Robert sat in the back, Maya beside him. She clutched the metal box in her lap. The briefcase rested at her feet. Carter drove in stiff silence. His disapproval hung in the air like smoke. Outside, the neighborhoods changed. The wide streets of West Hills gave way to narrow roads. Elegant homes became small apartments. Manicured lawns became cracked sidewalks. This was East Portland, the part of the city Robert rarely saw. The part where people struggled, where rent consumed paychecks, where medical bills meant bankruptcy. Maya pointed out the window. Turn here, on 82nd Avenue. The car turned. Pawn shops and corner stores lined the street. Neon signs flickered. A bus stop shelter held 3 people waiting in the cold. "There," Maya said. "The blue building." Carter pulled to the curb. The building was old, paint peeled from the walls. A rusty fire escape clung to the side. Robert stared up at it. This was where James lived, where he was dying. 15 years ago, James had owned half of a company. He should have been wealthy. He should have been living in West Hills. Instead, he was here, in a building that looked ready to collapse, because Robert had taken everything. "Come on," Maya said. She opened the car door. "Daddy is on the 3rd floor." Robert followed her inside. The lobby smelled of mildew and old carpet. The elevator had an out-of-order sign. They took the stairs. Maya climbed quickly. Robert's polished shoes echoed on the concrete steps. Carter followed behind, his breathing heavy. On the 3rd floor, Maya stopped at a green door. "Number 312. She pulled a key from her pocket. Her hands shook as she unlocked it. "Daddy," she called softly. "I'm home, and I brought someone." The apartment was tiny. One main room served as kitchen and living space. A narrow hallway led to what Robert assumed was a bedroom. The furniture was old, worn, but clean. A small table held a vase of wilted flowers. On the wall hung a photograph. Robert recognized it immediately. The same photo from the time capsule. James and Robert, arms around each other, smiling. James had kept it. All these years, even after everything. "Maya?" A voice called from the bedroom, weak, raspy. "Is that you?" "Yes, Daddy," Maya said. She hurried down the hallway. "And I found it. I found the box. Just like you said." Robert stood frozen in the doorway. His heart hammered. He had not seen James in 15 years, had not spoken his name, had tried to forget he existed. Now he was about to face him. Maya appeared in the hallway. She beckoned to Robert. "Come, he wants to see you." Robert moved forward. His legs felt heavy. Each step took effort. The bedroom was dim. A single lamp glowed on the nightstand. The smell of medicine hung in the air. In the bed lay James. Robert almost did not recognize him. The man he remembered was strong, muscular, always laughing, always moving. This man was skeletal. His skin was gray. His cheeks were hollow. An oxygen tube ran beneath his nose. But his eyes were the same, dark, intelligent, kind. Those eyes locked onto Robert. For a long moment, neither man spoke. Then James smiled. Faintly. Painfully. "Robert," he whispered. "You came." Robert's vision blurred. His throat closed. He took a step closer. Then another. "James," he managed. His voice cracked. "My God, James." Maya set the metal box on the bed. She sat beside her father. Took his hand. "I found it, Daddy," she said. "Just like you said. Under the oak tree." James squeezed her hand. His gaze never left Robert. "Thank you, baby girl. You were so brave." He looked at Robert. "Sit down, old friend. We need to talk." Robert pulled a chair close. His hands trembled. "James, I do not know what to say. I do not know where to start." "Start with the truth," James said. His voice was barely audible. "That is all I want. The truth." Robert bowed his head. 15 years of lies. 15 years of guilt. It all came crashing down. "I stole from you," Robert said. The words tore from his throat. "In 2012, the Cascade Tower project. I forged new contracts, changed your shares from 50% to 30. I took what was yours." Maya's eyes widened. She looked at her father. "Daddy?" James nodded slowly. "I know, sweetheart. I have always known." Robert looked up. "You knew?" "Of course I knew," James said. A sad smile touched his lips. "I built that company with you. I knew every number, every contract. Then why?" Robert's voice broke. "Why did you not fight me? Why did you let me do it?" James closed his eyes. "My wife was dying. Maya was 2 years old. The medical bills were crushing us. You offered me $50,000. I took it because I had no choice." He opened his eyes, looked at Robert. "I thought you would come back. Later, when things were better. I thought you would make it right, but I never did," Robert whispered. "No," James said. "You never did." Silence filled the room. Maya looked between them, confusion and hurt on her young face. "Why are you telling me this now?" Robert asked. "After all these years, why send Maya?" James turned to his daughter, stroked her hair with a trembling hand. "Because I am dying, and I need to know she will be okay." He looked at Robert. "The company is worth millions now. My 30%, even what you left me, it should go to her. But I have no proof, no legal documents." He gestured to the metal box. "Except what is in there, and what is in that briefcase." Robert's heart sank. He looked at the brown leather briefcase. The one Maya had carried from the mansion. "What is in the briefcase?" he asked, though he already knew. "The original ledgers," James said. From 2012, before you changed everything. The proof of what we really agreed to. Robert felt the ground tilt beneath him. Those ledgers. If the IRS saw them during the audit, he would be finished. But if he took them, if he destroyed them, Maya would have nothing. Why did you keep them? Robert asked. James smiled, sad, knowing. Because I hoped you would do the right thing. Someday. I kept them for Maya. So she would know her father was not a failure. That he built something. That he mattered. Tears slipped down Robert's face. He had spent 15 years building an empire, a reputation, a name. But James had been building something else, a legacy of truth, of integrity, even in poverty, even in death. What do you want from me? Robert whispered. I want you to give her what is hers, James said. His voice grew weaker. Not all of it. I know you built the company into what it is, but give her what is fair. What I earned, he coughed. Maya held a cup of water to his lips. He sipped, then continued. And I want you to tell her the truth, all of it. So she knows who her father was. So she knows she comes from something good. Robert looked at Maya, at her wide eyes, at the trust still lingering in her expression. She deserves better than me, Robert said. She deserves to know you, James corrected. The real you, not the man you became. The man you were, the man who dreamed with me, who planted that tree with me. He reached out. His hand shook. Robert took it, held it gently. Promise me, James whispered. Promise you will take care of her. Promise you will make this right. Robert's tears fell freely now. He gripped James's hand. I promise. I swear it. On everything I have, I will take care of her. James closed his eyes. A peaceful expression crossed his face. Then I can rest. Maya leaned against her father. Daddy, do not talk like that. You will get better. James kissed the top of her head. I love you, baby girl. More than all the stars in the sky, Robert sat there, holding his old friend's hand, watching Maya cling to her father. And for the first time in 15 years, he felt the weight of what he had done. Not just the theft, not just the betrayal, but the loss of friendship, of brotherhood, of the man he used to be. I am sorry, Robert whispered. James, I am so sorry. James opened his eyes one last time, looked at Robert. I forgive you, brother. I forgave you a long time ago. Those words broke Robert completely. He bowed his head, shoulders shaking with sobs he could no longer contain. Carter stood silently in the doorway. Even his stern expression had softened. He turned away, wiped his eyes. Outside, the city continued. Traffic hummed. Buses ran. Life moved forward. But in that small apartment, in that dim bedroom, time seemed to stop. 3 people, bound by truth, by pain, by the fragile hope of redemption. Robert did not leave the apartment that night. He sat in the cramped living room while Maya slept on the couch. She had refused to leave her father's side until exhaustion finally claimed her. Now she lay curled under a thin blanket, the metal box clutched against her chest. Her face was peaceful in sleep, innocent. Robert sat at the small kitchen table, the brown briefcase open before him. Inside were papers, ledgers, spreadsheets, all in James's careful handwriting. He ran his finger down the columns. Every number matched his memory. Every entry was correct. June 2012. The Cascade Tower project. The deal that had made them. The deal that had broken them original agreement. 50% to James, 50% to Robert. But that was not what the official documents showed. Those documents said 30% to James, 70% to Robert. Robert had changed them. Late at night, alone in the office, he had forged James's signature, filed new paperwork, paid off a lawyer to keep quiet. It had been easy, too easy, and James had been too distracted, too desperate, too trusting. Robert closed his eyes. The guilt was crushing. A sound came from the bedroom. Movement. Then Maya's voice, soft, frightened. Daddy? Daddy, wake up! Robert stood quickly. He moved to the doorway. Maya was shaking James's shoulder. Daddy, please! You are scaring me. Robert entered the room. He knelt beside the bed, checked James's pulse. It was weak, irregular, Maya, he said gently. Go call 911. Her eyes went wide with panic. Is he okay? Is Daddy okay? Just call, Robert said. He kept his voice calm, steady. The phone is on the table. Dial 911. Tell them we need an ambulance. Maya ran from the room. Her bare feet pounded across the floor. Robert leaned over James. Stay with me, James. Stay with me. James's eyes fluttered open. Barely. Robert? I am here, Robert said. He gripped James's hand. Help is coming. No hospital, James whispered. No more hospitals. You need help. I need peace. James's breathing was labored. Each word took effort. Promise me. Promise you will protect her. I promise, Robert said. His voice shook. I already promised. I will keep it. James's grip tightened weakly. The ledgers, keep them. Show them to her. When she is older, let her know the truth. I will. And Robert. James's eyes locked onto his, clear despite the pain. Forgive yourself. Life is too short for regret. Robert's tears fell onto the blanket. I do not deserve forgiveness. No one does, James whispered. That is what makes it a gift, Maya returned. They are coming. The ambulance is coming. She climbed onto the bed, wrapped her arms around her father. Please do not leave me, Daddy, please. James stroked her hair. My brave girl. My beautiful girl. He looked at Robert. Take care of her, like she is your own. I will, Robert said. I swear it. James smiled, faint, peaceful. Then his eyes closed. His chest rose, fell, rose again, then stopped. Daddy? Maya shook him gently. Daddy, wake up! Robert reached for her, pulled her into his arms. She fought him at first, tried to reach for James, but Robert held her, firm, gentle. He is gone, Maya, Robert said. His voice broke. He is gone. Maya's scream pierced the small apartment. Raw, primal, the sound of a child losing everything. Robert held her as she sobbed. Her small body shook with the force of her grief. He rocked her, whispered meaningless comfort, let his own tears fall into her hair. The ambulance came 20 minutes later. Paramedics filled the tiny bedroom. They checked for vital signs, confirmed what Robert already knew. James Johnson was dead. A police officer arrived, asked questions, took notes, looked at Robert with suspicion until Carter arrived and vouched for him. I am Robert Ashford, Robert said. James was my business partner, years ago. The officer's expression changed. Recognition. Everyone in Portland knew the Ashford name. I am sorry for your loss, sir, the officer said. Robert looked at Maya. She sat on the couch, silent now, staring at nothing. The social worker who had arrived with the police sat beside her. What happens to the girl? Robert asked. The social worker spoke up. We will need to contact Child Protective Services. If there is no family, she will go into foster care. No, Robert said. The word came out hard. Final. Everyone turned to look at him. She is not going into foster care, Robert said. She is coming with me. The social worker frowned. Sir, unless you have legal guardianship, I cannot release her to you. Then I will get legal guardianship, Robert said. Tonight, tomorrow, I do not care what it takes. He looked at Maya, at her empty eyes, at the way she clutched the metal box. Her father asked me to take care of her, Robert said. And I will. I promised him, and I will keep that promise. The social worker exchanged a glance with the officer. It does not work that way, sir. There are procedures, background checks, home visits. I do not care about procedures, Robert said. His voice rose. That girl just lost her father. She is not spending one night in a facility. She is coming home with me. Carter stepped forward. Sir, perhaps we should call your attorney. Call him, Robert said. He did not take his eyes off Maya. Call everyone. I want this done by morning. Morning light filtered through tall windows. Maya woke in a room she did not recognize. For a moment she forgot. Then it all rushed back. The hospital. The machines. Her father's still face. She sat up. The bed was huge, soft. Nothing like the small mattress she shared with her father. This was not home. Where was she? The door opened. A woman entered. Middle-aged, kind face. She wore an apron. Good morning, dear, the woman said gently. I am Mrs. Chen. I work for Mr. Ashford. He asked me to check on you. Maya's throat was too tight to speak. She looked around. The room was beautiful. Cream-colored walls. A chandelier. A bookshelf full of books. Where am I? She finally whispered. You are in Mr. Ashford's home, Mrs. Chen said. He brought you here last night. After everything. Maya's chest tightened. I want to go home. Mrs. Chen's expression softened. Oh, sweetheart, she sat on the edge of the bed. Mr. Ashford thought you might feel that way. He said to tell you that your things are being packed, that you can keep anything you want, anything that reminds you of your father. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I want my daddy. I know, Mrs. Chen said. She reached out, hesitated, then gently touched Maya's shoulder. I know, dear. A knock on the door. Robert entered. He looked exhausted. His suit from yesterday was rumpled. His eyes were red. Good morning, Maya, he said quietly. Maya did not answer. She pulled her knees to her chest, made herself small. Robert approached slowly, carefully, like she was a frightened animal. He sat in a chair across from the bed. I know you do not want to be here, he said. I know you want your father. I know this is not fair. Maya stared at the blanket. But your father asked me to take care of you, Robert continued. And I am going to do that. Even if you hate me. Even if you never forgive me. I made a promise. And I will keep it. Maya looked up. Her voice was small, angry. You hurt him. You stole from him. That is why we were poor. That is why he died. The words cut Robert like knives. But he did not flinch. Did not deny it. You are right, he said. I did hurt him. I stole from him. And I am sorry. Sorrier than you will ever know. Sorry does not bring him back, Maya said. Tears streamed down her face. No, Robert agreed. It does not, he leaned forward. His elbows on his knees. His hands clasped. But maybe I can do something. Something to honor him. To make sure he is remembered. Maya wiped her eyes. Like what? Robert pulled a folder from beside his chair. He opened it. Inside were papers. Legal documents. These are stock certificates, he said. They show who owns parts of my company. Right now, I own 70%. But that is not right. That is not what your father and I agreed to. He pulled out one document, slid it across the bed toward Maya. This is a transfer form, he said. It gives back 20% of the company to your father's estate. To you. Maya stared at the paper. She could not read most of the words, but she understood numbers. 20%. That is worth a lot of money, Robert said. Millions of dollars. It was your father's. It should have always been his. Now it is yours. Maya's lip trembled. I do not want money. I want my daddy. I know, Robert said. His voice was thick with emotion. But your father wanted you to have this. He wanted you to know he built something. That he mattered. That he was not a failure. He reached into the folder again. Pulled out another paper. And I am going to do more. I am going to rename the company. It will be called Ashford Johnson Development. Your father's name. Right there with mine. Forever. Maya looked at him. Really looked. At the tears in his eyes. At the way his hands shook. Why? She whispered. Why are you doing this? Robert's voice broke. Because your father was my best friend. And I betrayed him. And I can never fix that. But I can try. I can spend the rest of my life trying. He stood. Crossed to the window. Looked out at the city. You can stay here as long as you want, he said. This is your home now. If you want it, you can have your own room. Go to school. Have everything you need. He turned back to her. But if you want to leave, if you want to go somewhere else, I will find you a good family. People who will love you. I will not keep you here against your will. Maya clutched the blanket. Her mind raced. Everything was too much, too fast, too confusing. Can I think about it? She asked. Of course, Robert said. Take all the time you need. He moved toward the door. Stopped. Your father loved you very much, Maya. Everything he did. Every sacrifice. It was all for you, he left quietly. The door clicked shut behind him. Maya sat alone in the beautiful room. She looked at the papers on the bed. At the numbers she could not fully understand. At her father's name written in official type. James Johnson. She picked up the metal box from the nightstand. Opened it. Inside was the photograph. Her father and Robert, young, happy, friends. She traced her finger over her father's face. What do I do, Daddy? She whispered. I do not know what to do. The room stayed silent. No answer came. Outside, the city of Portland woke. Cars filled the streets. People went to work. Life continued. But for Maya, everything had stopped. 3 days passed. Maya moved through the mansion like a ghost. She ate when Mrs. Chen brought food. She slept when darkness came. But mostly she sat in her room, holding the metal box. Staring at nothing, Robert did not push her. He checked on her twice a day. Asked if she needed anything, then left her alone. On the 4th morning, Maya woke with a thought. She got dressed. The clothes were new. Robert had bought them. They fit perfectly. She hated that. She left her room. Wandered through the enormous house. Found the stairs. Went down. Voices came from the dining room. She followed them. Robert sat at a long table. A woman sat beside him. Blonde, elegant. This was his wife. Maya had seen her once. Briefly. 2 teenagers sat across from them. A boy and a girl. College age. They looked up as Maya entered. The conversation stopped. Robert stood. Maya, good morning. Come in. Sit down. Maya hesitated in the doorway. Robert's wife smiled. It seemed genuine. Hello, Maya. I am Jennifer. These are our children. Marcus and Sarah. The teenagers nodded. Awkward, unsure. Maya did not move. Are you hungry? Jennifer asked. Mrs. Chen made pancakes. No, Maya said quietly. Silence stretched. Finally, Maya spoke. Can I ask you something? Of course, Robert said. My father. What was he like? When you knew him, before. Robert's expression softened. He sat back down, gestured to a chair. Sit, please, I will tell you. Maya crossed the room slowly. Sat in the chair farthest from everyone. Robert took a breath. Your father was the smartest man I ever met. Not just with numbers, though he was brilliant with those, but with people. He saw the best in everyone. He smiled, sad, wistful. When we started the company, I was all ambition, all drive. I wanted to build something big, but I did not care much about how. He looked at Maya. Your father kept me grounded. He reminded me why we started, to build homes, to create communities, not just to make money, Jennifer added. I met your father a few times. Back then, he was always so polite, so thoughtful. He asked about people, remembered their names. Marcus, the teenage son, spoke up. His voice was hesitant. Dad has been different these past few days. I have never seen him like this, Sarah nodded. He told us what happened, what he did to your father. We are sorry, Maya, that was not right. Maya looked at them. These privileged kids, living in this mansion, eating pancakes, while her father had died in a one-bedroom apartment. Do you know what it is like? Maya asked. Her voice was quiet but sharp. To watch your father die? To count pills because you cannot afford the prescription? The room went silent. To eat cereal for dinner 3 days in a row? To wear shoes with holes? To hear your father cry at night when he thinks you are asleep? Tears streamed down her face. That was my life. While you lived here. While you had everything. Robert's face crumpled. Maya, I do not want your money, Maya said. Her voice rose. I want my father back. Can you give me that? Can your millions bring him back? No, Robert said. His voice was barely a whisper. No, they cannot, Maya stood. The chair scraped loudly. Then what good are they? She ran from the room. Her footsteps echoed through the halls. Jennifer started to rise. Robert stopped her. Let her go. She needs time. Robert, Jennifer said gently. What are you going to do? Robert stared at the empty doorway. I am going to keep my promise. No matter what she says. No matter how much she hates me. I'm going to take care of her. Several hours later, Maya sat in the garden, under the oak tree, the same tree she had dug around days ago. The hole had been filled in, the grass replanted, but she could still see where it had been. She heard footsteps. Robert approached. He carried 2 bottles of water, offered her one, she took it, did not drink it. Robert sat on the grass beside her, not too close, giving her space. For a long time, neither spoke. Finally, Robert said, When I was 12, my father died. Maya glanced at him. Heart attack, Robert continued. Sudden. One day he was fine. The next day he was gone. He picked at the grass. I was angry. At everyone. At the world. At him for leaving. Did it get better? Maya asked. Eventually, Robert said. But not for a long time. And not all the way. There is always a piece missing. Always. Maya's chin trembled. I miss him so much. I know, Robert said. And that will never fully go away. But it changes. It becomes something you can carry. He looked at her. Your father left you something precious. Not the money. Not the company shares. But his love. His sacrifice. His belief that you were worth everything. Maya wiped her eyes. He always said I was his reason for living. He was right, Robert said. And now you are my reason for making things right. Maya turned to face him fully. I do not understand. Why do you care? I am not your daughter. Robert's jaw tightened. Because your father was my brother. Not by blood, but by choice. We built something together, dreamed together, and I destroyed that. He paused. I cannot fix what I did to him, but I can honor him by protecting what he loved most. You. Maya studied his face, searching for lies, for hidden motives, but all she saw was pain and regret and something that looked like hope. If I stay, Maya said slowly, I want to keep my father's things, all of them. Of course, Robert said, and I want to visit his grave. Every week, I will take you. Every single week. And I want to know everything. About the company. About what he built. About what you stole. Robert flinched, but nodded. I will tell you everything. When you are ready to hear it. Maya took a shaky breath. Okay, I will stay. For now, relief flooded Robert's face. Thank you. But I am not calling you Dad, Maya added quickly. You are not my father. I know, Robert said. I would never ask you to. Maya looked up at the oak tree, at its strong branches, at the leaves turning gold in the autumn light. My father planted this tree? She asked. Yes, Robert said. 15 years ago. We planted it together. The day we incorporated the company. He loved trees, Maya said softly. He said they remember everything. Even when people forget. Robert's throat tightened. He was right about that too. They sat together under the oak tree. 2 people bound by loss, by guilt, by the fragile beginning of something that might someday become healing. 2 weeks later, Robert stood in the lobby of Ashford Development Corporation. Reporters filled the space. Cameras pointed at him. Microphones clustered on the podium. This was not a normal press conference. The entire city knew something significant was coming. Carter stood to the side. His face was tight with worry. "Sir, are you certain about this?" Robert nodded. "I have never been more certain of anything." He looked toward the back of the room. Maya sat there, quiet, watching. She wore a black dress. Her hair was pulled back. She looked older than 9 years old. Robert had asked if she wanted to be there. She had said yes. He stepped to the podium. The room fell silent. "Thank you for coming," Robert began. His voice was steady. "I called this conference because I have an announcement and a confession." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. 15 years ago, I co-founded this company with a man named James Johnson. We were equal partners, 50% each. We built something from nothing. We were brothers." He paused, swallowed hard. 3 years into our partnership, I betrayed that trust. I forged documents, changed contracts, reduced his ownership from 50% to 30%. I stole from him. The room erupted. Questions flew. Cameras flashed. Robert raised his hand. "Please, let me finish." The noise subsided. James knew what I had done, but he was dealing with his own crisis. His wife was dying. He had a young daughter. Medical bills were crushing him. So when I offered him $50,000 for his remaining shares, he took it. Because he had no choice. Robert's voice cracked. He took it because I had already taken everything else. He looked directly at the cameras. "For 15 years, I built this company on a foundation of theft. I told myself I deserved it, that I had worked harder, done more. But that was a lie." He gestured toward Maya. 2 weeks ago, James Johnson died. He left behind his daughter, Maya Johnson, 9 years old. Before he died, he asked me to make things right, to give her what was rightfully hers. Robert pulled out a document, held it up. "This is a stock transfer. Effective immediately, I am transferring 20% of Ashford Development to the estate of James Johnson. To Maya." Gasps filled the room. "Furthermore," Robert continued, "I am renaming this company. From this day forward, it will be known as Ashford Johnson Development. James Johnson's name will stand beside mine, forever." A reporter called out, "Mr. Ashford, why are you doing this?" "Why now?" Robert's eyes glistened. "Because I owe it to James. Because his daughter deserves to know her father was a good man. A man who built something meaningful. A man I wronged." Another reporter, "Are you concerned about legal ramifications? Could you face charges?" "I have consulted with attorneys," Robert said. "The statute of limitations has passed, but I do not care about legal consequences. I care about doing what is right." "What about your board? Your investors?" "The board can vote me out if they wish," Robert said. His voice was firm. "But this decision is final, non-negotiable. If they want my resignation, they can have it. But Maya gets her shares." He looked across the room, found Maya's eyes. "James Johnson was the best man I ever knew, and I failed him. But I will not fail his daughter. That is my promise. To him, to her, to everyone watching." The questions continued, but Robert stepped away from the podium. He walked through the crowd, straight to Maya. He knelt beside her chair. "Are you okay?" She nodded. Her eyes were wet, but she was not crying. "Did I do the right thing?" Robert asked. Maya looked at him for a long moment. Then she reached into her backpack, pulled out the photograph. The one from the time capsule. James and Robert, young, happy. She handed it to Robert. "My father kept this, even after everything. I think that means something." Robert took the photograph. His hands trembled. "What does it mean?" "It means he believed in second chances," Maya said. "So maybe I should too." Robert's tears fell onto the photograph. He pulled Maya into a gentle hug. She stiffened at first. Then slowly, carefully, she hugged him back. Around them, cameras clicked. Reporters shouted questions. But in that moment, none of it mattered. Two people, connected by loss, by guilt, by the beginning of forgiveness. Spring came to Portland. The oak tree in Robert's garden bloomed with new leaves, green, vibrant, full of life. Maya sat beneath it, a book open in her lap. She was supposed to be reading for school, but mostly she was just listening. To birds, to wind, to the city humming in the distance. She attended Catlin Gabble School now, a private school. The kids were nice enough, but she did not feel like she belonged. Not yet, maybe not ever, but she was trying. Footsteps on the grass. Robert approached. He carried 2 glasses of lemonade. "Mind if I join you?" he asked. Maya shrugged. "It is your tree." "It is our tree," Robert corrected. He sat down, handed her a glass. "How was school?" "Fine," Maya said. The answer she always gave. "Just fine?" "There was a project about family history. Everyone talked about their ancestors. Where they came from, Robert waited. I did not know what to say, Maya continued. I do not know anything about my family, except Dad. And now he is gone. Robert set his glass down. Your father told me some things. About his family. Would you like to hear them? Maya looked up. Really? His grandmother was from Louisiana, Robert said. She moved to Oregon in the 1960s, worked as a teacher. Your father said she was the strongest woman he ever knew. Maya leaned forward, hungry for details, for connections. And his father, your grandfather, was a mechanic, Robert continued. He could fix anything. Your father learned accounting because he wanted to understand the business side. To help his dad. What happened to them? Maya asked. They passed before you were born, Robert said gently. But your father always said you had your grandmother's eyes. And your grandfather's stubborn streak, Maya smiled. Just a little. Dad always said I was stubborn. He said it with pride, Robert said. He loved that about you. They sat in comfortable silence, the kind that had slowly developed over 6 months. Not family. Not exactly friends, but something. I have something for you, Robert said. He pulled an envelope from his pocket. It arrived today. From the board. Maya took it, opened it carefully. Inside was a certificate. Official. Embossed. Maya Johnson. Shareholder. Ashford Johnson Development. 20%. Below that, a number. The current value of her shares. $48 million. Maya stared at it. The numbers felt unreal. Impossible. That money is yours, Robert said. In a trust until you turn 18. But it is there. Growing. Secure. I do not need millions of dollars, Maya said. Maybe not, Robert agreed. But your father wanted you to have security, opportunity, choice, things he never had. Maya folded the certificate. Carefully. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you still feel guilty? About what you did? Robert was quiet for a long time. Every day. I do not think that will ever go away. Good, Maya said. Not cruelly. Just honestly, Robert nodded. You are right. I should feel guilty. What I did was wrong, unforgivable. But you are trying to fix it, Maya said. That has to count for something. Does it? Robert asked. Does it count to you? Maya looked up at the oak tree, at the strong trunk, the spreading branches, the new growth. My father forgave you, she said. Before he died. He told me that. He did, Robert confirmed. I did not deserve it, but he gave it anyway. Then maybe I can try, Maya said. To forgive you. Someday, not today. But someday, Robert's eyes filled with tears. That is more than I could ask for. Maya stood, brushed grass from her jeans. I have homework. Mrs. Chen said dinner is at 6. I will be there, Robert said. Maya started toward the house, then stopped, turned back. Robert, yes? Thank you. For keeping your promise, for taking care of me. Robert's voice was thick with emotion. It is my privilege, Maya, truly. She nodded, then walked toward the mansion. Her home now. Strange. Uncomfortable. But home nonetheless. Robert sat under the oak tree. Alone now. He pulled out his phone. Opened his photos. Found one he had taken at James's grave last week. A simple headstone. James Johnson. Loving father. Honest man. True friend. Maya had placed flowers. Then stood silently. Robert had stood beside her. 2 people honoring the man who had changed both their lives. I am trying, James, Robert whispered to the photo. I am trying to be the man you believed I could be. The wind rustled through the oak leaves, as if the tree itself was answering. Robert closed his eyes, let the spring sun warm his face, and for the first time in 15 years he felt something close to peace. 1 year after James's death, the lobby of Ashford Johnson Development had changed. Where Robert's photo once hung alone, now 2 portraits graced the wall. Side by side, equal size, equal prominence, Robert Ashford, James Johnson. Beneath them, a plaque, co-founders, partners, brothers. Maya stood before the portraits. She came here once a month, just to look, to remember. She was 10 now, taller, her voice stronger. She still missed her father every day, but the sharp pain had dulled. Become something she could carry, a voice behind her. He would be proud of you. Maya turned. Robert stood there. He looked older. The stress of the past year showed in new lines around his eyes. But he also looked lighter. More at peace, you think so? Maya asked. I know so, Robert said. Look at you. Honor roll. Student council. You are thriving, Maya shrugged. But she could not hide her small smile. Come on, Robert said. I want to show you something. He led her to the elevator. They rode to the top floor, the executive level. Robert's office, but he did not take her there. Instead, he stopped at the office next door. A door Maya had never seen open. Robert unlocked it, pushed it wide. Inside was a beautiful space, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, a desk, bookshelves, a couch. On the desk sat a nameplate, James Johnson, Chief Financial Officer. Maya's breath caught. I have kept it like this, Robert said, exactly as it was. The day he left, 15 years ago, he walked to the desk, opened a drawer. Inside were papers, notes, a coffee mug, a framed photo of baby Maya. This was your father's office, Robert said. His space, where he worked, where he dreamed. Maya approached slowly, touched the desk. It felt sacred somehow, like a piece of her father was still here. Why are you showing me this? She asked. Robert smiled. Because someday, when you are ready, this will be your office. Maya's eyes widened. What? You own 20% of this company, Robert said. But more than that, you are James Johnson's daughter. This company is part of your legacy. Your inheritance, he gestured around the room. You do not have to work here. You can sell your shares. Do whatever you want. But if you choose to be part of this, there will always be a place for you. Maya looked around the office. Imagined her father sitting at this desk, working late, building something. What if I am not smart enough? Maya whispered. Robert knelt beside her. Your father was brilliant, and I see him in you. In the way you think, the way you question, the way you never accept easy answers. He took her hands. But you do not have to decide now. You are 10 years old. Be a kid. Play, learn, grow. This office will wait. Maya nodded. Can I come here sometimes? Just to sit? Anytime you want, Robert said. This is your space, your father's legacy. Yours. Later that evening, the Ashford home was full. Jennifer had cooked dinner. Marcus and Sarah were home from college. Mrs. Chen bustled around. Even Carter joined them. They sat around the long dining table, the same table where Maya had once felt so out of place. Now she sat between Marcus and Sarah, laughing at one of Marcus's stories, teasing Sarah about her new boyfriend. It was not her original family. It would never be that. But it was family nonetheless. After dinner, Maya and Robert walked to the garden, to the oak tree. It had become their ritual, once a week, just the two of them. I have been thinking, Maya said, about the scholarship fund, the one in Dad's name. What about it? Robert asked. I want to be part of it. Help choose the students. Meet them. Robert smiled. I think that is a wonderful idea. Maya sat in the grass. Robert joined her. The evening air was warm. Summer approaching. Do you think he knows? Maya asked. Dad, do you think he sees what we are doing? Robert looked up at the stars. I would like to believe he does. Me too, Maya said. She leaned against Robert's shoulder, tentative at first, then more fully. He wrapped an arm around her, protective, gentle. Thank you, Maya whispered. For what? For keeping your promise. For not giving up on me, even when I was mean to you. Robert's voice was thick. You were never mean. You were hurt, and you had every right to be. Maya was quiet for a moment. Then, I forgive you, for what you did to my father. I forgive you. Robert went still. Tears slipped down his face. Maya, I am not saying it is okay, Maya continued. What you did was wrong, and it hurt him. It hurt me. She looked up at Robert, her eyes clear, mature beyond her years. But my father forgave you. And if he could do that, after everything, then I can too. Robert could not speak, could only hold her, let his tears fall. Besides, Maya added, her voice lighter now. Someone has to make sure you do not mess up again, Robert laughed. A broken, joyful sound. Is that your job now? Someone has to do it, Maya said. They sat together under the oak tree, two people who had been brought together by tragedy, by guilt, by a dying man's last wish, but who had become something more. Not father and daughter. Not exactly, but family, in their own complicated, imperfect way. Above them, stars appeared, one by one. Filling the night sky, Maya thought of her father, wondered if he was up there somewhere. Looking down, she liked to think he was smiling, that he was proud, that he was at peace. Maya Johnson stood in the lobby of Ashford Johnson Development. She was 15 years old now, tall, confident, her father's eyes, her father's determination. She wore a business casual outfit, not for a meeting, but for a tour. She was showing a group of scholarship recipients around the building. 10 students, all from low-income backgrounds, all receiving full rides to college, all part of the James Johnson Memorial Scholarship Fund. This is where my father worked, Maya told them. She pointed to his portrait. He co-founded this company, built it from nothing. The students listened intently. He did not have money, Maya continued. He did not have connections, but he had integrity, and intelligence, and the belief that hard work mattered. She paused, looked at each student, You all have those same things. And this scholarship is not charity. It is an investment. In your potential. In your future. One student raised her hand. Is it true you own part of this company? Maya nodded. 20%. My father's share. He left it to me. What will you do with it? Another asked. Maya smiled. I am going to business school first. Then I am going to come back here. And I am going to make sure this company honors my father's values. That it builds communities. Helps people. Creates opportunities. She gestured around the lobby. This is not just a company. It is my father's legacy. And I am going to protect it. After the tour, Maya went up to the executive floor. To her father's office. Her office now. She'd started working there last summer. Just part-time. Learning the business. Sitting in on meetings. Understanding how things worked. Robert had been patient. Teaching her. Answering questions. Never pressuring. She sat at the desk. Looked at the photograph of her father. She kept it there. Along with the time capsule contents. The original contracts. The proof of what had been stolen. And what had been restored. A knock on the door. Robert entered. How was the tour? He asked. Good, Maya said. They are smart kids. They will do great things, Robert smiled. He looked older now. Gray hair, slower gait, but his eyes were clearer, lighter. He had spent 5 years trying to make amends. 5 years becoming a better man. I have something for you, he said. He placed a folder on her desk. The board approved it this morning. Maya opened it. Inside was a proposal. A new division of the company, focused on affordable housing, community development, accessible financing. At the top of the proposal, Johnson Community Initiative. You want to name it after Dad? Maya asked. I want you to run it, Robert said. When you finish college, if you want to, Maya's eyes widened. Run it? I will only be 22. Your father was 25 when we started this company, Robert said. And you are just as capable. Maybe more so. Maya stared at the proposal. At her father's name at the top. At the opportunity being offered. I would have to prove myself, she said. Show the board I can handle it. You will, Robert said. I have no doubt. Maya looked at her father's photograph. What do you think, Dad? She whispered. Should I do it? The photograph, of course, did not answer. But somehow Maya felt she knew what he would say. Be brave. Work hard. Make a difference. She looked up at Robert. Okay, I am in. After college, I will do it. Robert's face lit up. Your father would be so proud. I hope so, Maya said. I am doing this for him. To honor him. You honor him every day, Robert said. By being who you are. By refusing to let bitterness win. By choosing to build instead of destroy. Maya stood. Walked to the window. Looked out at Portland. The city her father had lived in. Struggled in. Died in. Do you ever regret it? She asked. Giving up the shares? The company name? All of it? Robert joined her at the window. Not for a second. I got something worth more than money. What? He looked at her. A chance to become a better man. A chance to know you. A chance to make things right, Maya smiled. You did make things right. You kept your promise. We both did, Robert said. You promised to give me a chance. To forgive. That was brave. They stood together, looking out at the city, at the buildings they had built, the communities they had helped, the future they were creating. Maya thought of her father, of the sacrifice he had made, the love he had given, the legacy he had left. She would carry that legacy forward, not with bitterness, not with anger, but with purpose, with integrity, with the same values he had taught her. Dad, she whispered. Too quiet for Robert to hear. I am going to make you proud. I promise. And in her heart she felt his response, warm, certain. You already have, baby girl. You already have. The story of Robert, James, and Maya reminds us of a simple but profound truth. Justice is not always immediate. Sometimes it takes years, decades, a lifetime, but truth has a way of surfacing. Buried secrets do not stay hidden forever. The oak tree remembers. The earth holds testimony. Robert Ashford spent 15 years living a lie, building an empire on betrayal, convincing himself he deserved what he had stolen. But one 9-year-old girl with dirty hands and a father's dying wish changed everything. She did not come with lawyers, or threats, or demands. She came with truth, and that was enough. Maya could have chosen bitterness, revenge, anger. She had every right. Instead, she chose something harder. She chose to forgive, to build, to honor her father not through destruction but through creation. That is real strength. That is real justice, not the justice of courtrooms, but the justice of character, of integrity, of choosing to be better than what was done to you. James Johnson died in poverty, but he left his daughters something worth more than wealth. He left her values, dignity, the knowledge that she came from good, And Robert Ashford learned that no amount of money can buy peace. Only truth can do that. Only making amends. Only having the courage to face what you have done and try to make it right. The oak tree still stands in that Portland garden, growing stronger each year. Its roots deep, its branches wide, a living monument to what was buried, what was found, and what was restored. This is Tales of Black Justice. Maya dug through dirt and pain to find the truth her father buried. She faced the man who had stolen everything, and she chose forgiveness over bitterness, justice over revenge. If you believe that truth always finds a way, that justice can grow from even the darkest soil, then subscribe to this channel. Press that like button if you stand with those who refuse to let the past stay buried, who dig until they find what matters, who plant seeds that will grow for generations. Because Maya's story is not just about one girl. It is about all of us, about the legacies we inherit, the wrongs we right, the futures we build. Stay with us for more true stories of resilience, redemption, and justice that cannot be buried. This is Tales of Black Justice, where truth has deep roots.